Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark Lamberth. I am the host. And today I'm speaking with Mark Capehart at AR Mac Plumbing in Tampa. Mark, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man, great. So, you had a history kind of in the trades going back as far as 2008. You're doing some kind of handyman stuff. And even before that, working with some other companies doing kind of QC and stuff on the West Coast. Maybe you could just tell us about the history of AR Mac Plumbing, how things got started and where you're at today.
Okay. MAC is my initials. So, and then AR just happened to go well with alphabetical. So I put AR. So what it does, it puts me in like for Arizona, the ROC, and then out here, the TPBR, I apologize. It puts me, like, if you're looking for plumbing contractors, it puts me in the first page. So it was all the yellow flow, the job, my company name all came about with yellow pages. How fast, the yellow page ain't that big anymore on Google search. But for general contractors that would be on that page looking for me, put me right up front. So that's how I came up with the company name. And then I just started, necessarily growing the company. I mean, we started I was over 3 years in Arizona, grew the company, had about 7, 8 guys at any given time to do jobs. And I just wasn't loving the market there, the weather there. And I decided to pass the company on to someone else out there and then give them all my work. And then I still have a part of a contract with him to pay me for, for me being his license holder. And then I moved myself to Florida. And I've been here for the next 4 years, up and away. I'm on my 5th year of business here. I had up and downs, a lot of storms, right when I first started my company, it's been a little rough. Storm got me out of the groove of, trying to build clientele. New work, because all new work kind of like slowed down. And then, a lot of demos and demolition of old houses and then them repairs. So that's kept me busy the last 3 years. And this year I'm getting finally back on page to get back into the commercial side that I've been working on since I've been trying to do since I've been here. I mean, Arizona was pretty much all commercial. Here has been mostly residential because of all the storm damages.
Gotcha. And so when you said there were a lot of storms that kind of maybe set things back a little bit, are you primarily focused on new work or?
Yeah. The new work or like strip malls changing over to, a new client base. So, they want to do an uplift or, like places want to do uplifts. So, I do a lot of uplifts too. I mean, they don't like the tile anymore. So, I go in and cut, make it ADA appliance because now the new rule says all bathrooms need to be ADA appliance. So I have to move the sink and the toilets most of the times and most of the bathrooms. And then just adding new ones in. I mean, it's nice when I can get the whole new strip mall or stuff like that. I'm not too extremely big. You always got to be able to fund the jobs. So I limit my jobs to the jobs I can necessarily fund, buying material and paying for labor because a lot of times you don't get money up front. These GCs here in Florida.
Gotcha. And actually, I have a question about that, Mark. I've always been curious about that. And I mean, I've, spent a lot of time in the trades myself, doing remodels and some new houses. But is it simply not possible to get paid up front? I mean, this is a basic question, but I mean, is that ever in the cards? Can you ask for that? Can you say, hey, look, we're doing time material or even a quoted project, bid projects, and say we need, 30% up front? Or is that just not really how it works?
It's hit and miss. I know GCs pass by when you ask for money up front. No, I ask for phases. So like, let's say if I go into saw cut and demo. So since saw cut and demo is done, I expect a payment. And then when the underground is done, I expect a payment. I do request fixtures. Does the fixtures get way high? I already have it in the clause that, that they have to give me an advancement on the fixtures. Haven't ran into any issues of that situation, but it seemed like it's been working so far. I haven't had too many big problems of any holdup because the fixtures weren't able to be bought.
Gotcha.
And then fixtures can get funky. I'm looking at one job right now, a bathroom, and their one faucets and the fixtures are almost like $4,000 just for, one of the bathrooms. So, I mean, when they get them funky designs, I mean, them fixtures get up there in price and special ordered. So they have to, pay. So like I usually get the allotted time of how long it's going to take to do it, and then I put in the contract that I need the money at this time to get the fixtures on site, so it doesn't hold any of the phases up.
Gotcha. And I mean, regarding kind of terms, I'm always kind of curious about that as well. I mean, do you have kind of net 30 terms? I mean, when you finish a project, I mean, do you end up chasing people around for money? How often does it come up, especially in even the commercial space where, it's often net 30, net 60, net 90. How do you kind of deal with that to get
Insurance
paid?
job,
Yeah.
insurance jobs definitely. If you take an insurance job, you might as well count waiting on the money, especially final payment. Final payment's always the worst with them in that situation. But I knew in advance before I took the job. So usually I always get the information of how they want to pay before I take the job, especially if it's a big job that I'm worried about, making all ends meet with it. So I always get them answers. And if I agree upon the terms, then I take the job and I don't take the job. There is jobs that, pay every 30 days, so I just don't overload myself with too many other projects. I mean, sometimes it's better if the company is not paying that fast, you just don't take too much work from them.
Got it. I see. Interesting. So, I mean, you guys were, when you were in Arizona, you had 7 or 8 guys. Now you've got 5 guys. I mean, you had kind of talked about being in some different markets. It's hard to find people that are really high quality that can like execute and do. You said we talked before the show. You said you're kind of definitely focused on quality over quantity. Building the business by referrals. So, I mean, it's very important. The team that's with you. I'm just curious. For our listeners, it'd probably be helpful for them to know. I mean, what are some ways that it's been a struggle to find, good team, good talent that can execute on your vision?
Trial and error out here. It's been a lot of trial and error. Out west, a little bit more of a union kind of a setup situation. For a lot of these people know that there's particular ways of doing stuff. I mean, I expect if anything that's a physically hard wire line, you need to put a level on it. It needs to go level down the wall. People think wire lines, whatever, to sew it in any old way, but you got to make yourself look presentable. You just got to use the right tools to put the right situation and make it presentable. I mean, to me, my whole goal is an inspector walks in and, compliments my work, saying that I cared about my job. I want that all day long than how fast I got it put in. But that isn't the market I'm looking for. I mean, I stay away from track homes. Projects that just want to throw it in and go away. Usually they want the smallest bid too. So, I'm that matters too. I usually don't fix my bids too often. If they tell me I'm in the middle and they want me to drop it, I usually say that's all the other trades are like that. So I'd rather stay away from that because that means it's going to cost me more issues in the long run, trying to set my fixture on the finish. That kind of stuff matters. So, I mean, trying to find the right people at the right prices, it's been the struggle, but it's getting better. I mean, as it goes, as more and more I get familiar with here in Florida. And honestly, I haven't even committed to Florida. I got an 818 phone number. That's my company's phone number and it's its logo. It's an LA number. That's how uncommitted I've been for Florida. And it's worked for me because I got DCs nonstop calling me. But for these big franchise, like, building Staples or Bath and Body, they're all calling me and they're like, why you contacted me for? How did you get my number? They're like, because you only wanted a local. We didn't want a local. We've had bad experience with locals. I hear that. I've never heard that out in Arizona, but I hear it all the time here in Florida. And it
Wow.
has worked out very well for me. Have I got to really where I want to be? Not necessarily, but I think I'm getting there to where I wanted to be where I was in Arizona. I just feel like I'm a little bit more of a unsuccessful as I was in Arizona. I mean, I had 7 skilled guys. Right now, I got a bunch of guys that I'm teaching. It went to the route to where I got hooked up with a high school program, and I hired a bunch of kids that went to trade school in the Hillsborough County, and using them as trying to train them my way to get them to do what I want. Some of them have been very lucky. 2 of them, it's jumped up in the skills, and it's easier to teach someone that doesn't know nothing. To get them to go your way. And, I mean, I always make sure when I do interviews that I'm asking, I mean, I want you to leave, I mean, down the road, work to get your license to leave me. I mean, I don't want them to leave me, but you know what I mean? That in the overall wrong, that's what I want. If I have them type of people, they're always trying to learn. And I need people that I'm always looking for people who want to learn, not necessarily have a paycheck.
Got
Paychecks
it.
doesn't help. And it seems like a lot in Florida says paychecks. And I'm not a cheap payer for here. I pay above, sometimes above what normally going for plumbers out here, just looking for the quality people. So I mean, everyone says it's about the pay. It's like sometimes not the pay. I mean, I've had guys that they were a manager. They couldn't even do anything. They didn't even know how to, you know, what I mean, to run a vent. They you know, so you know, it's just you get a lot of lives out here, and it just troubleshooting, trying to find the right people that you know talk a good story, but you get them out in the field. I just let them go the first day. If they can't perform, then you know it's you lied, so we have to you know go a different route. So that's been the hard part here because it's harder to find skilled guys here than I did out there. You know, I've even talked with a union, so you know, there's even a union sources that I've been thinking about working that way to get a strong guide of people. Haven't committed, but you know, always keeping my doors open on that situation. I like the union because they make the guys go through schooling, and the schooling is important.
Huh. Fantastic. Well, great. Are you guys, at this point, I mean, you're in Florida, you got your team, kind of maybe a little on the fence about completely committing to Florida for the long term. But I mean, are you guys kind of a growth mode at this point? I mean, if, growing 10, 20, 40% here over the next 12 months, or are things just kind of set where they're at?
No,
Uh,
no,
you
I
know,
want to grow. I want to definitely grow. I mean, I want to get like two more trucks out on the street within the next year and a half.
gotcha.
Usually 2 men in a truck.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I mean? So that's what I want to have happen. Working on contracts to necessarily get that and stuff in that categorization. But that is my goal. So I added one truck last year, and then my goal is another truck this year, and probably by after Christmas of next year, I have to maybe add one more truck. Is my whole goal.
Got it. Amazing. Well, fantastic. Great insights here, Mark, just with, regarding the level of quality that's needed, right? Like how to kind of like fine team folks that want to learn, right? Which when those folks they learn, you teach them, they may actually end up leaving, right? If someone's kind of a occupational hazard from kind of teaching guys really well. But I mean, ultimately that's the type of crew that you want to have. Talked about, some of the issues kind of with hiring in different locations. Interesting story, man. If folks are looking for a plumber, whether it's commercial or sounds like some residential in the Tampa area, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
My phone number 818-400-1797.
Great. Okay, perfect.
Just talking about that philosophy. That's why I went on my own in 2008. My boss, I worked for him for over 20 years. He's like, it's time for you to start your own business. You've done enough. You're able to do the job yourself. You need to start your own company. And so I had that same concept. I mean, I was literally forced out of my company to, go on my own because the time was right. Well, the market wasn't right because the 2008 crash was horrible.
Sure.
But he had me work, so it wasn't like I wasn't not work. He was just telling me it was time for me to grow and further, the company necessarily on my own. And he calls and gives me grief every once in a while, but I still have contact with him and stuff like that. So yeah, he's happy that I officially went along. I finally got my plumbing license because he kept on giving me grief. The grief was that I wasn't getting my license in order. I come on Slack and like, no, I'm paying my bills, but he's like, no, you're doing everything but plumbing. And I'm like, yeah. Sometimes you just got to do when the work is there. But I finally committed to it. I decided in 2020, it was the right move, and I got my license under control for 2 states. I'm licensed in 2 states right now, or 3 states right now, and I'm thinking about doing the Texas license. I got a buddy out there that wants me to qualify a company out there for him. So I'm thinking about expanding the thing, my business, I guess.
Great. Fantastic. Well, a lot of great information here, Mark. Thank you for being on the show today. Mark Capehart with AR Mac Plumbing. And the best way to reach out to Mark if you're looking for a plumber in the Tampa area is to give him a call at 818 400-1797. Wish you the best here, Mark, over the next year in growing the business, getting a few more trucks.
Okay, thank you so much.